Okay, good morning, everybody. It is early morning and it's bright. Woo! But now I want to say hello and welcome to my channel. I know it's boring and not a lot of flashy stuff. But I speak from the heart. My channel is all about speaking from the heart. And, God moved me this week. A lot of people are getting online and talking about Charlie Kirk. And I've watched quite a few of his things, and he was very influential. I wouldn't say he's a prophet, but he's kind of the modern day prophet. I don't know how else to say it. He's going out and he's talking from a faith standpoint, from a government standpoint, both. And he was really pushing for Christ. Now, I've heard people say, well, he approached it the wrong way. It's not a way I would approach it. But he was doing what he thought was right. And he was willing to die for it, because he did. And a lot of people are putting a perspective of, I really like what he did, or I totally disagree with what he said. Now, the truth is, if you're a parent, where he's coming from makes full sense. At least it should. Because as a parent, you're going to love your kids no matter what. On the other hand, if they do something wrong, you're not going to lie to them and say, that's okay. It'll be okay. Don't worry about being in trouble. You come up to them and say, this is why it's wrong. You correct your kid. You coach your kid. You push your kid to try to be the best they can be. And try not to let bad things happen. Now, you can only do that for so long. But as the kid grows older, in my case, I have a daughter. As my daughter gets older, I got to let go of the correcting and the coaching, or the correcting. And you start coaching. My pastor preached on the 4 C's, which is caring, then you correct, then you coach, and then you're a consultant. And I like that analogy because it's true. Now, the hardest thing for a parent is to go from correcting to coaching to consulting. I'm not even in the consulting stage. I'm still having trouble adjusting from the correcting to the coaching stage. And my daughter's 16. She is in the coaching stage where I just need to let her do her thing and correct her when it's wrong and tell her it's bad when it's wrong. So my problem is when I coach, I'm in correct mode versus coach mode. And that's me as a coach too. I mean, I've coached a couple teams and I'm always trying to correct. And I think I got to teach how I want it, but I got to trust that they will make that decision. And that's hard for me. Because I've always gone with the mentality of I got to do it all. And I got to have things done my way. Now, people working with me, I've gotten to a point where I coach them. And that's what it should be. And if I can apply that to my kid, that'd be even better. But I'm still adjusting. I still see my kid as a little girl, but I'm adjusting. It's taking me time, but I'm adjusting. So I'm saying all that because as adults in a Christian world, we got to work on coaching. And the thing that I really, really appreciate, even though the different clips on YouTube or stuff is annoying as heck because people just don't want to listen, is the fact it's the same thing as science. You gotta make a point and be able to prove your point. And that's all Charlie was trying to push, was if you're going to push something, back it up. If I do a thesis on a paper, or if I have to write a 5-page, 10-page, in college we had to do 10-page papers on our beliefs, and then we had to back it up. Each time we backed up something with a bad source, we got docked. I mean, that's college. Most classes in college are papers, major, long written papers that suck, and you have to write forever. If you're a writer, it's amazing. If you're somebody like me who hates to write, then it sucks. Now, can I write? Yes. Can I do what I need to do? Yes. That's one reason why I'll never go for a doctorate in anything, because I don't want to write a basically book on something to make a point. It's not in me. It's just not in me. I've thought about writing books. I started writing a book. I get about maybe, if I'm lucky, half a page that jumps everywhere, and then I start expanding on it. And then I'm like, no, I'm done. My story's one page. I've written a book that is one page. And it was not pretty. I hated it. So I do not like to write. So a 5-page, 10-page paper with resource upon resource, for me, sucks. I did one on stadiums one time. Now, that was fascinating. It was amazing. I loved reading. I loved taking the pictures. I loved the fact that I've been at a couple stadiums. It was for a writing paper. But I went to different stadiums. Not a lot. I mean, obviously, they were local to my house, and whoever my parents would be willing to take me. I mean, I've been to a couple ball games with my dad took me, and that was an amazing experience. But a lot of the pictures, it made me realize the different ballparks, old, new, football, baseball, the courts for basketball, hockey rinks. I mean, I was looking up, mostly baseball, but I was looking up different things. And I'm probably off topic, to be honest, but it was fascinating. No, I'm not. Because the thing was, I had a book on baseball diamonds, a book on all-time baseball diamonds, Ebbets Field for the New York, back in the 1930s, had a 500-foot wall. 500 feet. And in one corner, and then the other was like the other side was 300. I mean, it was really odd. And that outfield, I would hate to be that right fielder, because freaking that was 500 feet to cover an outfield is insane. There was another one that had a big freaking, what was it? I'm trying to think. It was a very odd shaped, it was a minor league team, but because of where it was at, it was like 400 feet in right field and left field, and then center field was like 300 feet, which is odd. But it was kind of shaped round like a normal outfield, but then right in the middle, there was a parking lot that they were moving around, so the infield came in, or the outfield came in, right in the middle. It was unique. But anyway, my point is, when I did that research, and it was a 5-page paper. Again, writing sucked. I'm not a writer. That's why I don't send postcards, because I'm not a writer. I write what I have to. I can write, no problem. I just am not a writer. And if I had more attention span, it would probably help, but I don't have that. But my point is, I had sources to back it up. I had my experience. I talked to my dad and had a little, quote-unquote, interview with him about Cleveland Stadium, which is the ballpark we were going to. And so I had him as a resource. I had about 6 or 7 books on the baseball fields. I had another 2 books on football fields. Went to the library, pulled them out. Great thing about a library, they're amazing. But I backed up my point of view with resources. The old Ebbets Field, the Comiskey Park, the the Green Monster in Fenway Park, the waterfalls in Kansas City. That was right when Miami had the Miami Marlins, or Florida Marlins had their team. So I had their stadium built right on the ocean. I backed it up with resources. And going back to my point, after saying all that about baseball fields, which that was exciting. I was excited about that. But getting back to my point, you're going back to Charlie Kirk, which all he did, this was all he did, is you make a point and you disagree with what he says, go argue. But back it up. Prove your point with fact, not inference. And a lot of people that did not agree with him, who did not do the research, would go up there and make a claim, and they would not be able to back it up. It is still really bright outside, just so you know. I know it's hard to tell, knowing the fact that I have a visor down and my face is half covered by the visor, but it is really bright. But, and my fact is, look at the screen. My point. You make a point, you back it up. That's all Charlie Kirk was about. He's not about hatred. He's not about dividing. He's not about anything. But he said, for a country to be united, and I agree 100% with this, for a country to be 100% united, not divided, you need to have discussion. And he said his purpose was to have discussions, not dialogues, not I hate this or I hate that, just straight up discussion. You disagree, come discuss it. If you agree and want to talk, come discuss it. If you want to give your personal accountability and have prayer, come talk. That was it. I want to be open with you. His ideals was Christian based, which honestly, I'm going to be honest here, I think our country has been in a downfall for a long time. I think Charlie Kirk being shot is going to be a revival to a degree for a while. But like anything, it's going to die. Now, bear with me on this one. When you have a revival, it is a church where God comes in and really moves. And the church says, let's be excited. And here's what we're being excited about. Jesus Christ died for us. Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. Jesus Christ loves us so much that he sent his son. That is what revival is. It's people coming to God, realizing exactly what our world is about, what he is about. And it is a big movement. And I might not be saying this exactly, but it's a big movement that pretty much pushes the story of God. And the great thing about it is that a lot of people are going to get excited. But you get a new job, you get a new house, you get married, you have a kid, and I'm not saying this in an order, I'm saying this because each thing of those that happens, it's an excitement, right? I got a new job. Holy crap, this is amazing. Again, a lot that I got from my pastor this weekend really, really hit me hard, and I loved it. It was perfect. I needed to hear it. It was amazing. It was awesome. So, we have this. Everything happens for a purpose. And at the very beginning of anything, it is exciting. I'm working on a project. It is exciting. I'm working on it. I'm on it for I have cards I'm trying to organize. And I'm on it for about 10 minutes. And I'm excited because I'm getting this done and this done. 20 minutes later, it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like it. The marriage is done. The project is done in my mind. I don't have a very good attention span. But you know, the job is not so fun. The marriage is now taking work and is now feeling like a job versus an excitement, you know? Because everything is work. You get married, it's work. You have a kid, it can be very much a work. You have a good kid, it's less work, more coaching, but you have work. You go to a job, you work. Lo and behold, a job is work, but yeah. But my point is still the same. The excitement of it falls off and the work begins. You gotta work to make something work. You have to put the effort into it to make something work. I got married, I failed. I tried to fix it. It was failed by another way. I tried to find a solution. It failed. You know, it's not the fact that I failed at that point. It was the fact that the whole thing was just a failure. I divorced. It's not something I'm proud of. It's not something I'm excited about. It sucked. And believe me, I've paid a price for it. And some of that was my fault. No lie. And some of it wasn't. I could have prevented my part of the failure for sure. But it's not a her fault, my fault type thing. It's a straight up, once we got married, it was a team effort, and I did not have the team and effort into the team at the beginning. And then when I did, it was probably too late. I messed up. I failed. And I pay a major price for that. But by the grace of God, I've been forgiven by her, by God, and by hopefully by everybody else involved. And on her part, it's the same thing. I forgive her. And you know, we move on. Our focus is on the kid, as on our kid, not on each other. So unlike most couples, we can coexist, which is amazing. It really is. Our focus is always on our daughter. And whatever else they have going on, I don't have a lot else going on, but they do. And I'm praying for them. Every time I know that something's not right, whether I like them or not, I pray for them. Because I can't dislike somebody if I'm praying for them. The key is right there. If I love somebody, this is a major key. If you hate somebody, and God says it's wrong to hate. Now, can I, in our English, can I hate somebody? Even though God says don't hate. I think there's, in the Greek, when it says hate, it's talking about extreme. I want to kill you. I want to murder you. I don't want you existing. In our culture, because we have 50 million reasons for words to be used for the same thing, our hate has softened to a degree. I still don't like to use the word hate as a biblical stance of don't do it. But I do think in our culture, hate kind of means I'm upset with a person. I don't want to be around the person. I think, at least that's my reference to hate. But I try not to hate anybody. But again, the key, if I'm going to pray for you, even if I dislike you to the point where I hate you that much, but I pray for you, then that's going to stop my hate and make me love you through Christ. I know that sounds obtuse and weird, but if I pray for you, if I care for you, I cannot hate you. And I think the problem with our country is we live in a I think about me first society instead of I think about God society. We got to get God out of the schools. I was listening to a song, and he talks about taking God away from the classroom, taking God away from politics, taking God away from our country. Facts I can state because it's known that people have been pushing separation of church and state. Charlie Kirk said, say something, back it up. If you can't back it up, you don't have a room to stand on. And it's true. If you cannot back up your point, then you really don't have an argument. And his big proof was women. What is a woman? You can't use the word woman. And that's a hard, scientifically, it's an easy question. Biologically, it is a very easy question. A woman is an XY, is an XX. Now I'm having a brain fart. It's an XX chromosome. Your mentality is, you think a certain way. Men don't think the way women do. Women don't act the way men do. Mentally, women act on impulse and emotion. Generally, guys act more on logic and what makes sense and what I have to do. A lot of things Charlie says. And I might be saying that a little bit weird, not quite the way I want to say it, but the point is still the same. What I'm saying still is the same thing. I mean, it is all about our mentality, our build physically. If you look at a fossil, the bone structure is different. It's very similar, but the pelvis especially has a certain angle and a certain width. Scientifically, that is proven fact. You look in textbooks, you look in historical facts, you look in different places, you look at anatomy, you go to anatomy class, it's in there. It is all in there. It has been, there's fossils, it's been found, it's been proven. But that's the thing about Charlie, is he would say something and prove it. There's people on the left that says he should have died. There's people on the right that says the left is bad because of this. You know what? Nobody is inherently bad. People are people. There's going to be bad and good. And that's why I brought up about my marriage. I am a person. I have my faults. I do projects. I lose interest. I work. I'm good at what I do. I'm very good at what I do. But like anything, I lose interest. So I got to keep myself involved. Or I have to have a focus where I try to ignore I'm bored. And sometimes I can do it, sometimes I just can't. So my point is still the same. We're human. We have faults. And if you make a slogan, especially in science, you better be able to in science, you make a theory and then you try to disprove it. And reality is, nothing in the Bible can be disproven. And somebody get on here and either agree or get on here and disagree. Discussion is the way our country is going to move forward. You have a lot of people, it's like, if you're a Trump supporter, I'm going to hate you. Don't talk to me. If you backed up Biden, you're an idiot. Don't talk to me. You know what? I had a friend of mine that's very leftist, but is a very good person. Guess what? We could sit there and we could discuss things, and we had the respect for each other where it's like, okay, we might not agree on everything, but I didn't hate her. And she didn't hate me for our opinions. We agree, everybody's going to have a difference in opinion on something. Sometimes it's going to be a little more heated. but it's got to be discussed. That's all Charlie Kirk was about. There was no hate. It was make a point, prove it. That's it. There is nothing wrong with that mentality, because without proof, without definitions, which is a big thing too, is definitions. Without those two things, we have nothing. My papers would be an F and bomb if I didn't have the proofs to back it up. That stadium one. If I didn't have the pictures, if I didn't have the people, if I didn't have the witnesses, it would be nothing. So the Bible has, Jesus has 4 witnesses and several indirect witnesses, Paul being one of them. And I say indirect because he wasn't there when Jesus died, but he had an experience with Jesus himself, which makes him a witness. Doubting Thomas saw the holes in the hands and the feet and the hole in the side. Proof. Now, brothers and sisters, I just want to tell you to just be able to back up what you say. Now, I'm going to bless you guys, pray for you guys, whoever wants to watch this or needs to hear it. Whoever, let's get some subscribers on the channel. That'd be awesome. And again, I'm not going for numbers, so to speak, but I do want to get the message out. And I want you guys to know that I care for you and I pray for you. Be blessed, and I'll catch you on the next one.